Hey guys, and welcome back to Mountain Valley Farms. I thought I would had a few spare minutes, and I thought I would just bring this stream up and show you where we are. We're in day 12 of summer, and we're just tedding up some grass here. Got this great little tedder from FSUK. Looks just like a tedder I used to use when I was a kid working on a farm. So I thought I'd use this for this gameplay. And we're just tedding up some grass that I mowed. We got 20 cows, and we needed to mow some grass. We needed to give them some grass here. So I didn't know how much grass they would need, so I just mowed some around this field. We have finished our wheat harvest, if you followed the other live stream. And we went ahead and picked up all the straw bales off the field, put them over in our little bale shed. So we're just going to ted this up. We might run a rake through it just to get it kind of gathered up a little better, and then we're going to bale it up, get some more hay bales, and then you know what? We're back to logging. So we need to earn some money to buy a TMR mixer so we can get our cows up to full productivity. We've also got to turn around this field and get it cultivated, get it fertilized, and get it ready for planting our winter wheat. But we've got plenty of time to do that. If we look at our forecast here, we can see that for the first 7 days of autumn, we have 2 days of rain, and the rest is plenty of sunshine. We'll just leave that. We don't need to bother ourselves with that little bit. We're also going to need to do maintenance on this tractor here soon. We've got 4.7 hours left before we hit our 30 hours of maintenance, or 30 hours of engine time. So the worst thing about this tedder and rake is the tongue on them is so short that if you're not careful, they can whip and get jackknifed real quick when you're backing them up. This is the rake we're using. This is also a rake just like the rake that a rake that I used to use when I was a kid. So I kind of liked seeing this rake and wanted to play with it. In real life, those knobs there that have the springs on them, those are supposed to be springs there. They adjust the ride height of the tongs, or the little fingers that move, and then of course the drive shaft there on this model is what makes it work. But in reality, we had a string that was attached to a lever that there we go. We had a string attached to a lever that would basically engage the drive shaft. So you could turn it on remotely, but you couldn't turn it off unless you hopped off the tractor. Frank 4 is in chat, and he says, me too. So I guess you're referring to you used a rake just like this also? just raking it up because the act of tedding it kind of dispersed it a little bit. I don't know how many bales we get off of this, but any bale is good because we only have, I think we only have 4, 8, I think we only have like 9 or 10 hay bales at this point. I was really depressed with the number of bales that we got off of the first cut. So yeah, we've got, looks like we've got a few more than 9. So here we've got, well, yeah, we've got 4, 8, 12. We've got 13 hay bales at this point. And we've got a fair number of straw bales stacked on in here. I'm still not certain if the straw bales are going to hold through all of autumn, all of winter, and all of spring, simply because of I've never done 12-day seasons, and we only got 20 cows. It seems like they're taking a lot less than I anticipate them taking. But the way I understand it is that regardless of the season length, the animals will basically consume the same amount over a given season. So that basically means the longer the season, the less you need to feed every 3 days. So if that's the case, then if you play 3-day seasons, you are really needing to provide the animals with a boatload of food every 3 days, because basically you're giving them a full season's worth of food every 3 days. If you play something like 24-day seasons, then you're really just feeding them, you're feeding them the same amount over 24 game days as the folks who are doing 3-day seasons, but you have 24 game days worth of time to produce that amount of food and feed it to them. Like, for example, we got 20 cows, and all they want is a couple thousand liters of grass, a bale of straw, and a bale of hay will hold them for about 3 days. Whereas with like 6-day seasons, they need a whole lot more food. In fact, Old Guy Farmer, on his single-player challenge, he had 200 cows, and he just couldn't keep them fed. He couldn't keep them. He couldn't keep food in them with 6-day seasons and 15 times speed. So he went and sold off 100 cows to get the to get a more manageable number. I'm assuming that if we did 12-day seasons, he probably wouldn't have had any issue at all with feeding 200. So it looks like we might get 3 bales out of this little bit, but like I said, every little bit's going to help us. Hit the wrong button on the wrong thing. There we go. we go. We're going to drop you there. This has kind of become our hay and grass equipment shed. We've got our forage harvester there that we use to pick up the grass that we use to put in our silage bunker. We got our mowers. We got the front and side mower, which makes a pretty nice setup for this tractor. Baler and our little bale stacker, and the bale stacker pairs very nice with that the 4 bale forks that we're about to pick up. I'm still kind of on the hunt for a decent bale trailer. Uh-oh. I thought picking these forks up in cab might have been a mistake. There we go. But these forks are pretty nice. Let's try to get lined up on them a little bit more. Said I wanted to get lined up on them, and I'm way off. There we go. So they don't have any type of a locking script, but they do have the little locking claws. Now I did not put a rear weight on, so we are a bit back heavy, a backlight. There we go. Alright. I'm just going to leave those there. I go over here and I don't know if I can hook up to this weight. I knocked it over in the middle of the night driving around. Well, that was a bit unrealistic, but then again, I've never been a super realistic guy as far as gameplay goes. And one reason why I'm still on the hunt for a decent bale trailer is I was surprised that the bale trailers I've tried so far will not hook up to this weight. Now this trailer doesn't have any issue with hooking up to this weight, but I tried the Massey Ferguson trailer that came in the Massey pack. It wouldn't hook up to the weight, and it was a bit wobbly anyway once I loaded it up with stacks of 4 bales per stack. And then I tried a Marshall trailer, and it wouldn't hook up to the rear weight. So I was really wanting a trailer that could hook up to the rear weight, so that I could basically bring the trailer around to the field, and then use the 4 bale forks to pick up the 4 bale stacks and put them on the trailer. But as you can see, I need the rear weight if I'm going to pick up 4 bales at a time. So I ended up kind of having to do a weird jockey thing where I had to bring the trailer around, run back, pick up the weight, and then you know, when I wanted to actually unload the trailer, I had to basically drop the weight, hook up to the trailer, bring it over to the barn here, run back to the field, pick up the weight, come back, unload it, and that was just a bit ridiculous. So I ended up just buying a tractor on a short-term trial basis to drive the bale trailer around. So I don't think this one's been cut. So I've got my eye on what it sells. We've got, that's not interesting. So I've looked at, so it's 41,000. I've looked at a couple modded TMR mixers, but they seem to have ridiculously low volume. So then I looked at this. This is 29,000, but you need a trailer to go with it. So I was going to pick up this dolly trailer for 97,000. So that would be 29,000, right? 29. So that's like 39,000. So it's a few thousand cheaper. Let me check. I'm pretty sure this thing has a capacity of 16,000. This has a capacity of 22,000. So that's fine. So I think we're going to pick up that AR trailer and the TMR mixer, and then we'll be able to use the AR stuff like the slurry spreader and the manure spreader once we get around to have enough slurry and manure that it's usable. And we can still use it on this tractor. We don't have to go buy a truck. But if we wanted to at some point, if we're profitable enough to afford a truck, we'll be able to do that also. That's something that I've noticed with logs when you cut them. If you have already grabbed them and you're using like the straps, they have a tendency to warp through the strap as if when you cut them, they the game like removes the log that's there and draws in a new log of that particular size, and the act of doing that kind of makes it warp through the forks and warp through the straps. So for those of you in chat, do you all do much have you all done much forestry work? Do you use a joystick or do you use a mouse? I'm actually using a trackball. Which I find works really good for the hydraulic implements. idea how that thing got created. We'll just drop them on in there. But I found that the trackball works great because I can just flick the ball with the thumb, and it kind of recreates a kind of a fluid motion. Kind of like a joystick would do. I'd like to clear out all of these trees here between us and that cliff, so that next time we go and next time we go and mow this field, we'll be able to take advantage of all the grass and hopefully make a whole bunch of hay bales. And then after the next cut of grass, I think we're going to I'm going to plow up this field and that field over there and plant grass in it so that we can fertilize and obviously reap a higher yield. I'm a little curious how much, well, I guess the TMR mixer is the last real bit of equipment that I need to buy. Because to this point, I've been doing logging to fund the equipment purchasing. Hey, Mac Daddy, how you doing? I've had a pretty good weekend. Hope you all have as well. Howdy, Fred from Australia. Because for those that didn't watch the other live stream I did on this map, I've taken the stance of not taking out any loan, and since we're playing this on hard mode, we started with $15,000. If you're not familiar with this map, this is Mountain Valley, extra hard Homestead Edition, where you start literally with no equipment, nothing other than yourself, and $15,000 in the bank, and what, an $85,000 loan, or yeah, loan. So we started out with a leased tractor. We bought the forks here, we bought the arms, we bought the weight, we leased the trailer, we leased the tractor, and we went to town logging until we could buy the tractor and buy the trailer. And it took us 10 game days at 15 times speed to clear our field over here, the field back there where we have wheat stubble. So it wasn't until the 11th day of spring that we actually was able to put seed in the ground. So Mac Daddy asks if Giants has made some type of change if you have mowed grass on the floor, meaning I guess the ground, it decreases. Giants, no, but I think if you're running Seasons mod, then definitely. Because what Seasons will do is at midnight, it will basically remove one layer of grass from the ground if it's cut. It will also remove one layer of hay and straw at midnight. But I'm not aware of anything within the game itself that would cause a windrow to reduce itself. I was wondering. So you see this one log's not been cut. I'm going to cut it and it's going to fall through those retaining straps. Alright, Frank, I'll see you next time. So after this load of logs, we should be able to afford our TMR mixer and trailer, because we're averaging about $20,000 a load. There we go. So these aren't cut. I didn't get all of these cut earlier. I was cutting these when we had our harvester working on the wheat, I think, and then I think it filled up, and I had to stop cutting it so I could go get the tractor and run the tipper. So I'm also interested in seeing how how quick the grass here that we've already mowed grows back. We cut this particular field what seems like 4 or 5 game days ago. I think it was midsummer when we cut this. I don't know, Mac Daddy. Now, of course, if the grass grows before you pick it up, it may appear that there's less grass there because there's another layer of grown grass kind of growing through it. Hello, Farmer. Oops, how are you doing? Do you, what growth rate do you normally play on, Mac Daddy? Alright, I'm trying to get my, trying to get the halo on that log, but it doesn't want to. Doesn't want to show up. Oh well, we'll just move on and. Yeah, I've seen, I mean, if you've got like normal growth, then it may be that after a couple game days, your grass growth is growing over the windrow that you've got, and it's appearing as if it's smaller. I have heard of people who typically will mow a field 3 or 4 times before baling it, and they'll get these massive windrows. To the point where like the grass is almost over the tractor's axles as it's baling. I mean, you really don't get any more bales out of it than running the baler over the field 4 different times, as opposed to kind of mowing it a bunch of times. I don't think it really even would save you any time, because you're still, I mean, if you're round baling, you're still having to stop to pick up the bales and everything and to unload it. If your growth's on slow, then it would probably take, because I used to play with slow growth, it probably is taking you a few game days to have any grass regrowth. Alright, see you later, Fred. And we can probably get 2 more on there. And then we're going to try to buy our TMR mixer and trailer. We also need to buy a shovel for the front loader because we do have loose silage in the bunker. And I was going to activate that TMR draw mixer mod that kind of gave you the status of the mixer from the tractor, but alright, stop doing that. But I kind of forgot to download it. Oh no. There we go. We might not be able to get him on there. Oh well, we'll just we'll get them next load. Alright, since we're going to need to pick up a bucket, we'll leave our forks here. We won't have much. Well, we better keep our weight on. Next thing you know, we'll need the weight for the silage. So the traffic on this map is pretty brutal. I've been rolled 3 or 4 times already coming out of the farm by an oncoming truck. Because if an oncoming truck hits this trailer kind of in a mid-turn, it will take it over, and it'll take the tractor over with it. Hey Jolyn, how are you doing? let's see if we have ourselves enough to get what we want. $49,000. That should be enough. We still have our fuel trailer down here that we need to pick up. So let's see here. Front loaders. 2,000. 1,500, 1,500, 1,200, 1,800. All right, I do not have the bucket that I want, so we're going to save this real quick, and we're going to activate that mod up. Then we're going to pick up the bucket we want. Here it is. I'm doing good. We're just killing some time. We had a free moment, and I wanted to stream my progress on this particular map. Now, since we had to leave the game and we left our tractor down at the store, we're going to have to run down to the store because we have the no teleport mod installed, so we can't tab into our tractor. So thankfully the store is just down the hill from over here. Jump the fence, slide down the cliff, hop the concrete barrier, and there we are. So that's the one we wanted because it's got 2,500 capacity. Okay. Then we want this particular mixer. And we want this particular trailer. Because it's cheap. All right, and we are going to thankfully it's not a no problem to have this stuff sent back to the farm. Otherwise we'd have to make like 3 trips. The reason we haven't reset the fuel trailer is I'd have to drive down here to the farm, or to the store. Not to the store, but to the to town in order to fill it up. So there's no reason to reset it. Let's go ahead and sell our eggs while we're down here. No, Jolyn, I don't use Skype. I use it for work purposes, but not for this. We're going to, looking at the fuel there, we're going to need to get that fuel trailer filled up here soon. So we're probably gonna feed our feed our cows and then skip through the night and then end the stream because I've got a stream that I'm going to schedule to start at 9:30 on a challenge map. So I don't want the challenge stream to interfere with this. This is a single player map, Jolyn. So there's no joining on this. I've only got one tractor, so there's really not much someone else in here could do. This is kind of a challenge for me personally because I usually have, usually when I play a game or a map, I'll have a whole bunch of tractors. Uh-oh, wrong thing selected. There we go. Drop that. Guess I should put this back over here. Now let's hook up our mixer. I've never used this mixer before. I'm kind of interested in how it functions. I would rather not have a dolly trailer. But it was several $1,000s cheaper than the oh my, this trailer does not look like it wants to behave. Slow and steady, slow and steady. Ah, there we go. Let's get out here and check this thing out. Alright, so let's see where it comes out at. That doesn't do anything. It's a nice looking mixer. All right. Hey Sean, how you doing? I don't know if you heard, but I was just mentioning that we're probably going to feed our mix up some TMR. Feed our cows, and then I was going to call this particular stream to an end because I'll be I want to start the challenge stream around 9:30. Oh, come on. There we go. Let's get these forks out of the way. They're so tall, I can't use those. All right. We have way more silage than we have hay at this point, so we're going to use one bale of hay. One bale of straw. We might have to get different arms. That thing's way up there. No, I don't know any of those particular individuals. Jolin. Alrighty. I wonder if I'll be able to dump that bucket with these arms. I don't know if these arms are shorter than the 30 arms or not. I got these arms when I had a Massey Ferguson tractor. But that mixer is way up there. If we had a telehandler, it wouldn't be a problem at all. To open the silo. So I used the the Massey Ferguson pack has a pull along forage harvester that you can hook a trailer up to the back of, and I used that to grab some grass to put in the bunker here for a silage, and I got way more grass than I got way more grass out of that. Out of the field that I used than I was expecting to get. Alright, so I think we're gonna have to put like 4 buckets in order to get our mix rate. And I went with the loose silage here because I didn't want to have to buy the square bale wrapper. Again, because we're kind of playing on a budget. The goal is to not take out a loan, to never go in debt. Huh. 15 times speed. I think it was like 8 o'clock when we were down at the shop. We blew through 4 hours buying this mixer and driving it back up here and mixing up our food. Alright. Let's hook up to this and just see where we are in our mix. I think we need one more load. Oh, shoot. Nothing's more difficult in the middle of the night. So how much do we have? Do we have 16,000? Oh, we got almost 16,000. We'll just go with what we got, I guess. Let's turn on our mixer. Just for fun. Tip side left. Yep, that's where we want to tip. Oh, well, thank goodness it fits through here. That was something I didn't even think about. Alright, so let's see. Let's get in here and see the unload animation. Let's see here. What do we want to do? We want to unload. Look at that. Well, they took 10,000. Wow, they took a lot. All right. Now we are at full productivity. Oops. That out of the way. Put this over here under our kind of our trailer shed. Let's put our bucket back over here. Whoops. Just park our tractor right here, turn everything off, and fly through the evening. I don't have my manual fast forward installed, so while we're waiting on that, oh, we have one more cow. So we were down $15,000 yesterday. That's fine. We've got a bunch of wheat in storage down at the storage in the town. It doesn't show up in our silo inventory. This map doesn't have a farm silo, so we're just keeping an eye on that wheat price. I'm kind of holding out for a great demand on wheat. Oh, we don't have, I was going to say, let's see what our first day of winter looks like, but we're going to have to wait because we're running 12 days. On the other map that I'm playing, we're running 6 days. Alright. We'll drop it back down to there. I want to thank you guys for watching the stream. We're going to take a short break. In about 15 minutes, I should be back with the challenge map on Old Guy Farmers single player challenge. We're going to be doing day 6 of autumn. So if you want to hang around, please do. Otherwise, happy farming.